is the size?
Look at this.
Don't know.
Okay, well, how would you know?
I just know, like, however I did it, I ended up, like, I don't know.
How I did. Face forward.
Bam,
Bam, bam on the headboard. That's what he did. Bam, bam, bam on the headboard. Mouth first. Mouth busted open. Boom, 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 boom on the headboard, causing massive contusions, massive lacerations to her mouth, to the effect where he needed multiple towels to clean up all the blood. That's what he did.
Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? I got a real crazy story that I saw a couple months ago. I think it was 2 months ago. And it really shocked me to the core. It really broke my heart. The death of this beautiful little girl, 2-year-old Trinity Kyle. And she was killed by her mother's boyfriend, who's not her biological father. If we're going to do a walkthrough and reaction to this very sad story, join with me, guys, and go on this journey. And hopefully we'll learn something at the end of it. Big shout out to Law and Crime Investigates. We'll make sure we have the link inside of the description. Big shout out to Law and Crime Investigates. I definitely thought I subscribed. I'm going to subscribe now. I am a subscriber to Law and Crime. I guess I wasn't a subscriber to Law and Crime Investigates, but I've just now subscribed. And not only did I subscribe, but I'm also going to set those notifications to all, as you just observed. So the next time they drop a video, I will be notified for that. And I hope you do that for my channel as well. All right, let's get into it. Let's do it.
The way you guys are coming at me, like, do I need to just go ahead and just get a lawyer?
We have a dead baby in room 206.
Now, you see what just happened there? This is like the intro, but I'm stopping it already because this is what should have happened in the Stephen Stearns interrogation. This is what should have happened. And I explained this to you guys, how you push forward when somebody does not invoke an attorney correctly. You push forward. I want you to listen to that one more time, because this has this situation, this moment right here has so much relevancy to the Stephen Stearns interrogation. I might actually pull this when we talk about Stephen Stearns again and play it for you guys again. Look at what the detective does when he makes mention of an attorney, but does not properly invoke his right to an attorney. Watch this.
The way you guys are coming at me, like, do I need to just go ahead and just get a lawyer?
We have a dead baby in room 206, okay? You were the last person with Trinity.
Trinity Maria Kyles was born April 9th, 2021 in Savannah, Georgia, to her mother, Rosie Kyles. Her mother, grandparents, aunts, and cousins know her as a shining, happy girl.
Now, you notice that they said nothing about the father, right? Nothing about the father. No pictures of the father. Nothing about the father knowing her to be a shining light, or whatever they described this beautiful little baby as. Very, very sad when a child comes into this world and doesn't even know the other side of where they come from. 50% of who they are, 50% of their DNA. But let's keep going.
Photos of Trinity, lovingly nicknamed Trin Trin, show off her brown eyes and big smile. Her family remembers her dancing to her favorite song, Usher's ABC song from Sesame Street. It often plays from the tablet used to video chat with her grandparents and other family members. Anyone who's been on a video call with Trinity knows how eager she is to press the red end button on the screen and laugh jovially about it. Loved ones describe Trinity as a little diva. They reminisce about days spent playing at the park, taking selfies with her parents, and playing with her baby.
Her and her mother, very beautiful. Now, let me move me over just so you guys can see this family, just temporarily, just so you can see this family. I'm gonna move myself over, just take myself off the screen. Look how beautiful this family is. Gorgeous.
Doll. It wasn't long after celebrating the lively little girl's second birthday that her family's world would flip entirely upside down, and the shining light they remember her being would suddenly go very dark.
2019 to 2021.
On the evening of May 2nd, 2023, Trinity's mom, Rosie, leaves work and heads to the Quality Inn Hotel, where she's been living in Duluth, Georgia. While Rosie was at work, she left her boyfriend, Mallik Kennedy, in charge of watching her little girl. Though she hasn't known him very long, Rosie and her daughter are living with Kennedy at the hotel. When Rosie enters their room, she sees Trinity on the bed and assumes she's taking an afternoon nap. Rosie knows her boyfriend is feeling frustrated with the toddler. He and Rosie then begin to discuss a different child care plan for Trinity, like the possibility of enrolling her in daycare. At some point during their conversation, Rosie checks on Trinity. She realizes her daughter is unconscious and unresponsive. Scared and confused, Rosie calls 911. While Rosie is still on the phone with the dispatcher, an officer arrives at Quality Inn Hotel Room 206. Inside, he finds Rosie frantic. Trinity is lying on her back in the bed, still unconscious. Kennedy is in the room with them.
All right, so what I want to do now is I'm going to fast forward. And the reason why I'm going to fast forward, guys, is a lot of this video is redacted, blurred out. And the times when it's not blurred out, like here, you see this mother in the most agonizing distress, not understanding, not knowing if her child is alive. And at a certain point, she hears that her child is dead from the police officers talking to each other while they have her sitting in a car for an extended amount of time. And then she breaks down in a way only a mother could break down, a way that we did not see in a lot of other cases, like the Madeline Soto case. I don't want to see that. So we're going to have the link in the description, and you can go ahead and check that out if you want to. Right now, I want to focus on the interrogation of this young man who killed this beautiful little baby girl.
He sits still and plays with his fingers, a common sign of unease among suspects. At one point, he looks up to the ceiling and mutters something to himself. After about an hour, Detective Blackburn and Corporal Limber enter the room. They greet him and begin the interrogation immediately.
My name is Detective Blackburn. This is Corporal Limber. We work with the Gwinnett County Police Department. I'm just going to grab some basic information from you, okay?
Kennedy tells investigators he met Trinity's mom, Rosie, online about 6 months ago in December. On the first of the year, they started living together at the Woodmere Trace apartment complex in Duluth, Georgia.
Now, when you guys were living there, was Trinity living with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you guys have your own room?
No.
Where did you guys sleep at?
Together.
Wait, where in the apartment?
In my room?
Huh?
In my room?
Yeah, so you guys had your own bedroom then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where did Trinity sleep at?
In the bed.
Sleep with you guys? Okay. And then when did you guys start living at the Quality Inn?
Say about after March.
After March, okay. Did you and your friend have a falling out? Is that, like, why did you leave the apartment?
It was due to eviction, basically.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Then whose idea was it to live in the hotel?
Everybody's really.
Walk me through what happened today. Walk me through your day. What time did you get up? What time?
Woke up around 10:40 something maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10:40 something. And basically woke up, normal. Rose go to work, and once she goes to work, I'm just watching Trinity.
Okay.
From there, just normal. Watching her, make sure she eats and everything, but that's about it.
Okay. Now, how often do you watch Trinity?
A lot.
A lot. Like, how many days a week?
Pretty much every day she worked. So it was just like maybe 5 days out the week,
Okay.
depending.
And how many hours a day do you watch her?
Depends on what time she goes in, time she get off.
I
But
mean, does she usually work like an 8.5 hour day? Or, I mean, lunch and a dinner shift portion of it?
About to like, it'll be like,
I want you guys to hear in his voice the frustration that this young man is experiencing. Listen, I have no mercy for this guy. This guy's a baby killer. But it's really a lesson in you can't make people into something that they're not. And sometimes people try and make themselves fit roles that they're not fit to actually fill. And so I think this was a relationship of convenience. They both needed each other. They both needed a place to stay. They're both struggling. They're both working low-income jobs. And he was trying to fill a role that wasn't for him to fill, that he was not equipped to fill. And I think now he's understanding the gravity of what he's facing. But let's keep going. But listen to the frustration in this kid's voice.
3 to 1, 4 to 1.
Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of responsibility that it seems like for you.
It is. I mean, we talked about that.
So far, both Rosie and the investigators believe that Kennedy likely feels exhausted and overwhelmed by the responsibility of caring for the little girl.
So what time does she leave today for work?
She left around like 11.
11?
She had to be there about 11, so she left around like 11.
Okay. So when she left, kind of just walk me through the day. What did you guys do in the room?
Well, from the moment she left, it was pretty just normal. I played my game. She's on her tablet or doing whatever she does, but you know, like I told Rose, she just has this thing where she will flip out and start just doing the most, you know, like. Yeah.
You see him twiddling with his fingers, man. This kid is guilty as sin, man. He is nervous as hell. He is nervous. But you listen, she's doing the most. She's screaming. She's doing this. You know, a lot of times when it's not your biological child, you're not programmed to be able to handle, you know, these children, especially when they're very young. You know, sometimes even I as a father gets frustrated when, you know, my young son is acting a fool. But 90% of the time, it's like, you know, he's getting older. He's going through his phases. You know, there's a patience that's built into you as a parent when it's your biological child. Or you're even a step parent, but you have a lot of experience with children. But here's this young guy. This guy does not know what it is to be a father, much less even a parent. And he didn't know how to handle this child. Let's keep going.
So she just always does the most. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. So her flipping out, like just misbehaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like anything
like
you can imagine. From,
I don't know. Like explain it to me. So what did she do today? What did she do today?
Knocking things over,
okay.
just screaming, hollering, stuff like that.
Kennedy explains how Trinity exhibits typical 2-year-old behavior when he's with her. According to UNICEF Parenting, it's normal for a child to grow more independent and begin pushing boundaries at 2 years of age. Some people might call this phase the terrible twos.
It's just normal kid stuff, really. Okay. But terrible two, I guess, as they say, she was saying.
And does she do that with Rosie's when Rosie's in the room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And does Rosie allow that to happen? Yeah. Does Rosie discipline her? Like spank her on the butt or anything like that?
Not really.
No.
All right, so this is excellent questioning from Blackburn, Detective Blackburn, because what he's doing is he's setting up this guy. And you can't just go directly at him, because then it's like, I'm being attacked, right? But you walk him through like, okay, well, you know, what is Rosie doing, right? Because the person's going to be much more willing to say what Rosie is doing as opposed to what they're doing. But after they've gone through what Rosie does, then they might be more comfortable to segue into what they did. So does Rosie let her get away with everything? Yeah, she does. Does Rosie discipline her? No, she doesn't. And to most of us, a lack of structure of discipline is a sign of bad parenting, correct? Right? So this young man is laying out that Rosie is a bad parent. She's not properly parenting his child, giving his child boundaries and structure. So he'll be more inclined to kind of like position himself as that person who's giving the boundaries and structure to the child, even though he might be segueing into positioning himself not just as the person giving boundary and structure, but also as the abuser. Really good questioning from Blackburn. Let's keep going.
Does she allow you to do that?
No.
No. Have you done that in the past?
To her?
Yeah. Like if she's misbehaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what do you do?
Wow, he just put himself in a little bit of a hole right there because he's not the biological father. Blackburn asks him, hey, does Rosie give you permission to discipline her daughter? He says no. But then Blackburn says, well, have you ever disciplined her? Then he says yes. So right now, he's already breaking possibly some laws, some child abuse laws, because you're disciplining a child that you don't have permission to discipline. Well, that kind of starts teetering on assault. It's not assault when you spank a child and you have permission or you're the biological parent to do that. But if you're not the biological parent and you don't have permission and the parent has explicitly told you, don't hit my child, and you hit that child, it's kind of assault, man. Let's keep going, though.
Normally, like before, like at first, I just like, it might be like I might pop her, and then like if anything else, then she's standing in a corner, like, you know, she's just standing in a corner, that's it. Or I might not give her something like juice and the sugars and stuff that she be wanting. So I take that away. She don't get it.
And how do you pop her? Describe that to me.
Like that, like it's like a pop. It's the same thing as a popper.
So what went on in the room today with her? What was her misbehaving? What was kind of just?
As I told Rose, I said, you know, it started from her just screaming and spilling her juice and just spilling it everywhere, like doing it on purpose and doing things like I said, kick the lamp over, or she might just spilling juice and screaming.
Like being a baby, being a 2-year-old, basically.
So, that's it.
The detective asked Kennedy what was happening while Trinity was allegedly misbehaving. According to Kennedy, he was trying to play a video game.
When she's acting up and spilling the juice and kicking the lamp.
And real quick for this, you know, as a parent, there's a solution for a child that's doing what this beautiful little girl was doing, what Trinity was doing. There's very, very simple solution for Trinity's tantrums and bad behavior. Trinity wants to go outside and play. She has excess energy that she needs to burn off, and you have her cooped up in a hotel room. Basically, there's one room and a bathroom. They're in a cheap, stay-by-the-month hotel quasi-shelter. You know, they have those Hampton Inns and those Howard Johnson Inns and those Motel 6s where they're really catering to long-term guests that aren't there for business, that are basically trying to survive. And it's like, you know, $40, $50 a day, and you're staying there long-term. All you've got is a main room with a bed and a bathroom. This little child is cooped up in that room. He wants to play video games when that child really needs to go outside and run around. If he was smart and he'd just take an hour to let Trinity go and run around, she'd be sleeping for the rest of the day until mommy comes home. But that's what the solution is for that little child. Unfortunately, he's not experienced enough as a parent to know what that baby needed. Let's keep going.
What do we do?
Normally,
how do we punish her?
Normally, I just I'll tell her to stop. Or basically, I'll grab her up, and that's it. And that's about it.
Okay. Well, it seemed like she didn't stop today, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did we correct that?
There was no correction, really. It was simple as just the normal, you know, just, I said, pop her, or I'll grip her up.
You do what? Sorry, I
grip her up. Really, that's it.
It sounds like Detective Blackburn and Corporal Limber want Kennedy to explain how Trinity ended up with bruising on her face.
We got cute, baby.
Did he pop the 2-year-old hard enough to bruise her cheek?
Wow.
Now, did you ever give her any medicine today?
Yeah, I did.
What did you give her?
Melatonin.
Okay. When did you give her that?
Why did I give it to her?
When? What time?
Now, I haven't seen this in a little while, but I think one of the reasons why she died is I think he may have overdosed her on melatonin. I think so, but I think it was also blunt force trauma. We're going to discover this together. It's been a little while, but yeah, man, this guy was over-drugging this child, giving her enough medicine for an adult just to get her to go to bed so that he can do the things he wanted to do because he was too frustrated to watch her. I mean, very sad. We have choices, man. He could have walked away from this family. It's not his family. He has no obligations to it. He only knew the girlfriend for a short period of time. He could have walked away, but let's keep going.
I don't know the time. Maybe 3, 2.
I'm sorry?
Maybe 3, 2
Okay.
o'clock.
So, what did you put it in?
I just gave it to her. Regular, how we always do.
I don't know.
So just give it to her in her mouth. That's it.
Okay. So like, is it
Like a drop. It's a drop. Just
So how many drop? Like, how much did you give her today?
pretty good amount. Like it was about halfway, almost to the top, almost. Not really at the top level.
Kennedy's statement lines up with the evidence found in the hotel room. During the initial search of the room, law enforcement marked a bottle of Zarbee's melatonin as evidence. Despite the label, which states the dietary supplement is meant for kids ages 3 and up, Kennedy admits to giving Trinity half a dropper's worth of melatonin, or 0.5 milliliters. Trinity is only 2 years old.
How long before is she sleeping? How long does it usually take to kick in? Today.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, because I'll be honest, I normally never know how long it takes to kick in.
So what time did you put her in the bed?
Well, she been in and out of the bed really, so it was more so she been in and out of the bed. She was never like in the bed permanently. She just was in and out of the bed. But I think after my mom left, she took a nap, woke back up. 3, 4. So it's I don't know 2, 3.
That's what time she fell asleep?
In and out. She was in and out, going to sleep.
Okay. And then what time did Rosie get back to the room today?
Like 5. Something.
So the mother left at 2 and came back at 5. Like, it's not even like she was gone for like a 20-hour shift or something like that. Or even an 8-hour shift. She was just gone for a couple of hours, man. Wow. I mean, I don't know. Let's keep going.
Now, how did she get into the room?
I let her. I let her.
Is that right? Okay. Now, when she's in the room, where's Trinity at?
In the bed.
Still in bed? Okay. And then at what point did she pick her up? Or, I mean, kind of, like I said, I'm trying to figure out the timeline. Right?
Check on her. She tried to check, like she was checking on her.
Like, she comes in the room, the baby's dead. He knows the baby's dead and just plays it off like she's sleeping. Like, how callous and just heartless is that you know that this baby's died probably by your hand. You're just gonna let her continue to pretend to sleep so that you can make it seem like, well, I didn't do anything. I had nothing to do with this. She's just gone. That's messed up, man.
Like we were talking about it. I had told her like normally like if Trinity does something and then like I'll basically like I was like I pinched her and then she was like, you know, like
I pinched her.
Okay, today.
And so he pinched the cheek and that's why they got the damage to her cheek. He's pinching her cheek really hard to cause that kind of damage.
So she's like, you know, you gotta be careful. She bruises.
So where you didn't mention the part of pinching, so where did you pinch her at?
But I was there, so I did that on her cheek though.
On her cheek? Which side? Left side.
Okay.
The pinch explains the fingernail marks and bruises found on Trinity's face. Because Kennedy didn't mention that part in the beginning of their conversation, investigators wonder what else Kennedy might have to share with them.
Why did you pinch her for?
Pretty much the crying and everything else, same thing. It was pretty much add on, like add up.
What's everything else?
Like just the crying, kicking stuff over, spilling juice, doing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So you got pretty agitated today, huh?
Yeah.
I guess I saw the text message. I saw the text messages that you sent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it just today that she was just
It's not
terrible twos kind of just kicked in? Like
it's every day.
yeah,
Maybe
you just tired
since
of it.
I met her.
Yeah.
Since I met.
I mean, these text messages you have never sent in the past before. So why did it bother you today?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you were pretty much venting to her.
Yeah, I was vent to her.
Well, I mean, I didn't see it was in the previous messages.
Didn't say in the text messages. I just always vent to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always tell her, but I know it was another text. I actually texted her not too long ago. It was before this. Now I texted her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was venting to her, but normally I don't text her. Or if I do, either I text her or I talk to her.
Detective Rockburn gives Kennedy the opportunity to explain how his frustration with the little girl might have led to violent or aggressive behavior. Based on Kennedy's text messages with Rosie, investigators believe he was angry while babysitting Trinity.
So there's some other markings to the baby's face.
Yeah, she hit her head earlier today, and that was also my fault because I don't know, I'm seeing it like when she walked out, and like I have put her on the bed, her head hit the headboard.
You're mumbling. Can you?
Her head hit the headboard, basically.
So when did that happen?
That was right before she left, like right before she left.
Who left?
Rose.
Okay. And where are the other markings on her face?
From either past or past, really.
What?
From the past, really. Like, basically, I'm not, this is not my first time, like, I'd be like, pinch her or something.
Like what? Oh, so
But
he just made another admission. He says this is not his first time pinching her. He's also made admissions that he hit her head on the headboard right before the girlfriend went to work. Like as he's talking, he's digging himself in more holes. He's showing a pattern of abuse that has existed on this little girl. And one could only dream why mommy didn't pick up on it, or if she did see that he was being a little too rough, why she didn't say, hey, listen, man, you're fun to hang out with, but you got to go. Like, listen, people can have all types of relationships. You can still see him if you want. You know, you guys can link up, do your thing, have your fun, but he's not suitable to be in your life on a level where he is watching your child. This is a guy you link up with when you get a babysitter, a responsible babysitter. You go out on a date with him, you have your good time, whatever, but you come home to your child and you leave him wherever he's at. So it seems like there's a pattern of abuse that existed inside of this household, and this is the culmination of that abuse. Let's keep going.
that would be my way of, like, you know, like, she'll tell me, like, you gotta find a way to, like, you know, work it out or whatever it is, and I just, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, how to handle it or whatever. And that's the way I end up going about it. Just I'm a pinch her.
You pinch her.
How hard did you pinch her?
Depends.
When you pinched her today, did she cry?
She always
Of course she
Huh?
cries.
She always cries.
She always cries?
Always cries.
Parents or guardians
Wow.
are permitted to use physical punishment with their young children,
Not
even
like
a
that.
toddler like Trinity, in all 50 states. But when does that punishment cross the line and
You don't spank a toddler, a 2-year-old. They don't understand that they're being spanked. All you're doing is ingraining in them violence, a culture of violence. They don't understand right from wrong. They're programmed to be selfish creatures, just like little baby birds, right? All the baby birds do is, feed me, feed me, feed me, and if you don't feed me, I'm gonna make more noise, more noise, more noise. And what do the parents do? They go out to get more food, and feed the baby birds. They're programmed to be selfish. 2-year-olds are programmed to be selfish. They could barely speak. They could barely express themselves. They have to be exaggerated to make sure you understand what they need. They're programmed that way. It's very unfortunate that this little child was born into this unstable environment. I'm not saying the mother's a bad mother, but this was a financially unstable environment with 2 parents who are not prepared to be parents. One ran off into parts unknown to the wherever, yonder. The other one struggling to keep it together And I admire her for her struggle to want to take care of her child and give her child a better life, but not doing a good job of it. Because it's not easy out here to raise a child when you're a young person like this young woman. And so she made a terrible choice inviting this young man into her and her child's life, and this man killed her child. Why? Because he was not ready to be a father. And regardless of whether he had that title or not, that is the role that he was playing. He was playing a role of father to a child that was not his, a child he was not ready to supervise. Let's keep going.
And become physical abuse. Generally, physical abuse is defined as any non-accidental physical injury to the child. Georgia's definition states that the person inflicting child abuse could be any person purposefully responsible for the care of the child. That includes any adult who has access to the child because of their relationship with the parent.
That's right.
So when we talked to Rosie, she never told me about hitting the head on the headboard.
She probably didn't even think about it, like to even tell you, or I don't know.
She had the right state of mind to tell us that you pinched her.
I'm not saying she had the right state of mind, but I'm saying she definitely probably not thinking about that, like to add that, so.
Something like that, kid hitting the head on the headboard, that's be pretty tragic. So
I mean, yeah.
So I just want to go back just real quick and just say, well, he said that she hit her head on the headboard before Rosie left, and that piqued my interest because Rosie should have done something, but I don't believe him anymore. I believe Rosie, the mother, and the mother said that never happened. And I think from what I saw, the reaction of the mother and the way she was talking, I think that if she knew that her child was being abused, that she would have taken some type of action. So I do not believe at this point, with the information that I have, that the mother was aware of any of the violence he was inflicting against her child. It's unfortunate, though, once again, that this man was in her child's life. But let's keep going. It's unfortunate that the biological father didn't see fit to stick around and handle his responsibility either. Let's keep going.
And was she in the room when that happened?
She was leaving.
Okay, so she's probably out of the room then, huh?
Yeah, she was leaving.
Though Kennedy agrees with the detective here, he shakes his head no, which could indicate he's being dishonest.
So what else happened in that room today?
That was it. Nah, pretty much just, we went through that whole stage of going through that, me and Trinity. If we have our own thing, we just bump heads. And
did you just get fed up today?
I mean, I can't lie. I was angry. That's the
No, I'm trying to play your video game. Screaming on top of her lungs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did the neighbors knock on the door?
No.
Room service come to the door?
No.
Did the hotel staff come to the door, say, hey, what the hell's going on here?
No. They just, no.
No.
Kennedy tells investigators he is always aggravated. When asked what aggravates him, Kennedy says it could be anything.
Right.
Anything can agitate me. Anything.
But more or less today, you were really agitated because the kid was crying.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
I'd say, yeah.
So how did Trinity get the bump on the head? Really?
Headboard.
Okay.
Ow.
Was it cut on the lip?
Yeah, there was multiple.
No, she barely did.
She barely.
No,
Well,
that wasn't a bite mark.
but regardless of, you're gonna tell me something, but I'm just gonna go in my side. So she bumped her head.
Oh.
What about the lip though?
And in the lip, she bite.
He's getting defiant. He's getting frustrated. He's getting frustrated because he's scared. He's getting frustrated because he's scared. And they're getting a lot from him. Let's see how these detectives kind of handle this kind of crossroads that they're going to be on right now, because once they start getting super frustrated and scared and defiant, then you start getting to the point where they might ask for an attorney. So you got to bring them back a little bit. So at this point, I'm like, yo, man, I'm not in any way trying to insinuate anything against you, bro. I'm just trying to find out what happened. I'm in no way am I saying that you did this on purpose. It's just, we're looking at the situation. We're looking at the evidence that we have, and it looked like it could have been something else that happened. But you are here to clarify for me, man. And what you're saying matters to me, all right? So don't think for 1 second that I'm attacking you. The time will come that you're going to end up attacking. But I think right now, when you're getting so much from him, and he's so he doesn't understand the gravity of of the situation he's in, otherwise he'd have been asked for an attorney. I think you milk him just a little bit more before you start going hard on him. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Did that happen today?
It happened today.
Okay. Now, how did it happen?
Probably when
And I got to say, Blackburn is the lead, and he's doing an excellent job. His demeanor got a little angry when the other guy, the other detective, said something. So, when you get those situations, when you see that you elicit a negative reaction from the subject when you're doing a tag team kind of interview, that's your cue to be quiet until you want to get, you play the good cop, bad cop thing. Like, you see Blackburn is walking him through this and he's being compliant with Blackburn. He's asking Blackburn's questions. Don't say nothing. Just let Blackburn run the show. That's just my take on that. Let's keep going.
when I made her head on headboard.
You made her head on headboard?
Not like I did it. Like, I just did it. And that's the problem. Like, and that's what's even making me go to, like, it's the fact that, like when I did that and everything, like, it wasn't intentional. It's not on purpose. Listen, it's not.
And we're not saying you did it on purpose, okay?
Perfect.
So, I mean,
see, Blackburn is doing an excellent job. You see, he brought him back. Now, I'm not saying you did that on purpose, man. It's okay. Excellent job, Blackburn.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get your side of the story, man. Okay. So how did you make her head on the headboard? Walk me through it.
I was like, I don't know, like, I had just like really put her in the bed, like, I don't know, and then she had it, like, I don't know, I guess it was the way I did it. Mm-hmm. So when I did it, it was.
When they're talking, you gotta watch their hands, because their hands are gonna tell you what their mouth is gonna tell you. I believe he threw the little baby on the bed and threw the baby in the headboard. That's what I'm thinking. But watch his hands. Let's see what his hands tells us. It might tell us nothing. I'm not foreshadowing. I don't know if his hands is going to tell us anything, but I'm just giving you some tidbits. You always watch their hands. Let's see what his hands tell us.
Weird. However I did it, it hit the headboard. My mom asked, she was like, she said something to me. She was like, she said something. I don't remember what she said, but I remember her saying she got on me about it. And I was like, because we just had argument or whatever.
So did you pick the kid up and throw the kid against the headboard?
No, it was more like
I said, you're not describing, like, you're not doing a very good job explaining it. So
I'm not pretty good at all, really, when it comes to things.
Okay, take a deep breath, relax. How did you do it?
They continue to press Kennedy about Trinity's injuries. He claims he doesn't know anything about the cuts on Trinity's lip. Then he finds himself caught in an obvious lie.
So why are there bloody towels in the trash can? Tell me about that.
From her lip.
From
her lip. Her lip was bleeding.
And how did her lip start bleeding?
From her, I assume. Most part, I assume it was from her.
Although Kennedy already stated he didn't know anything about the cuts to Trinity's lip, he now indicates that he used towels to clean up her blood. At this moment, Corporal Limber gets up from his chair and leaves the room. To get a clearer picture of how the 2-year-old could have sustained her injuries, he brings in a baby doll.
Do me a favor and show me how you grabbed her. Like, how you tossed her against the headboard.
Like,
just the headboard. How far away were you?
Pretty close, like this.
Okay, so show me how you grabbed her. Just pretend that this is the size.
I really don't know.
Okay, well, how would you know?
I just know, like, however I did it, I ended up like.
See the hands? That's what he did. He grabbed her and he hit her. Bam, bam, bam. If you see how he had the doll before that, And the detectives shouldn't have moved it the way that they did, because he placed the doll face down and her mouth is busted open. So I'm going to tell you exactly what he did based off of what he showed us. And this was an excellent idea to bring this doll in. These guys are pros. I don't deal with children, so I don't ever have to use a doll. But these guys are pros because look, they bring the doll in, and I want you to pay attention to what this young man does with the doll.
The headboard.
But like,
Just the headboard.
Look what he did. Who picks a baby up like that? Who picks any child up like that? Unless you lifting them up to stand on something and they'll be facing forward. You want to help them stand up on a chair or something. Who picks a child up like that? He picked a child up like that. Now, watch what he did with the kid.
How far away were you?
pretty close, like this. He's like,
Okay, so show me how you.
And notice he slides the child face forward to where the headboard is. Now, that's not what he did, but that's where how close he was to the headboard. Now, watch what he actually did to the child that's facing forward on the headboard. Watch this.
How you grabbed her. Just pretend that this is the size.
I really don't know.
Okay, well, how would you know?
I just know, like,
So,
however I did.
bad job on this guy for touching the doll. Don't touch the doll. That's how he placed the doll, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't want to touch this anymore. This is akin to a picture to him. Like when we show pictures to guys and they can't look at the picture because they're disgusted with themselves with what they did. This is akin to a picture. He's now seeing this little baby. So he doesn't want to touch the doll anymore, but he's going to show us what he did right now with his hands. Watch this.
I ended up like, I don't know, just
Boom.
like put her on the bed, like I don't know, like
Boom.
threw her on the bed, and then like she hit her head on her headboard. Her
Boom.
mom like literally said something to me
Boom.
about it, and I was like, okay, like
Boom.
We know Rosie wasn't in the room at that time. Okay.
Go back a little bit more.
Just
Watch
pretend
this.
that this is the size.
I
Look at
really
this.
Don't know.
Okay, well, how would you know?
I just know, like, however I did it, I ended up like, I don't know.
How I
just,
did. Face
know,
forward.
put her on
Bam,
the bed, like, I
bam,
don't know, like,
bam
threw her
on the
bed, and then,
headboard.
like, she hit her head on
That's
her
what he did. Bam, bam, bam on the headboard. Mouth first. Mouth busted open. Boom, 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 boom on the headboard, causing massive contusions, massive lacerations to her mouth to the effect where he needed multiple towels to clean up all the blood. That's what he did. That's exactly what he did to that child. This young man is going to spend a significant amount of time of his life in prison. That's exactly what he did to his child. Let's keep
Her
going.
mom, like, literally said something to me about it, and I was like, okay, like.
Listen, Malik, we know Rosie wasn't in the room at that time. Okay, that's something that she would have told
She knows she left, even if she didn't tell you guys.
Okay.
This is why I don't even want to talk.
It's
Like,
okay. Well, listen,
because like
we need to figure
I
out
feel
what
like,
happened.
yeah, I'm trying, but you're saying she didn't tell you that part, like I'm lying or something. Like,
We're not saying you're lying.
it's just she was leaving. Like, I don't know. Y'all can go back and ask. Like,
We will.
she'll probably. She left, like, when she was leaving, she said something to me, like, it was right before she walked out, like, she was already, like, halfway out the door, like,
Okay.
she was there. Like,
All right, so
I
let's
don't
get past
know.
that. How did you grab? Show me how you normally grab her. How do you normally grab her? Her name's Rose, right?
Trinity.
Trinity, sorry. How do you normally grab Trinity?
Like, I might pick her up, like, this,
Okay. So how did you do it today?
same thing.
Kennedy refuses to demonstrate how he picked Trinity up or how he made her hit her head on the headboard. He appears frustrated and nervous.
It's ever different. It's always the same. It's either, like I say, from the crime, from the work schedule, from
It's a lot. It's a
even what
lot. How old are you?
even what I do. Like, I'm not even just saying from like dealing with her. Even from what I do, like the whole process. Like, if I punish her, and that could be any way. That's taking away your tablet, your juice, the sweets, make you go stand in the corner. Even if I pinch her cheek, and I'm not doing this to be like that, you know, as my mom told me, you know, and I tell her I don't do that to, you know, like, be like that. It's her, you know, and I gotta learn to, because I'm new and it's all new, so I'm just like.
As Kennedy tries to express why he became upset in the hotel room, he seems angry at Trinity. He even calls
He's blaming her. He's blaming the 2-year-old for his inability to be a good parent. A job nobody forced on him. Nobody asked you to come and to pick up the pieces with this woman. You chose to do it. Trinity didn't ask it. The mother didn't even ask it. You wanted access to the mother. You needed to understand that this was a package deal. A young mother with a young child. It was a package deal. You made that choice. You chose wrong. The burden and the blame is on you. Let's keep going.
the toddler irritating.
I know the difference between you're crying and I know the difference between you just being irritated, or irritating. Either way, I know the difference. So
what was the difference today?
It's always the same, like I said. It's never not a difference. It's always the same thing.
So did you take her tablet away today?
Yeah.
And did she continue to cry?
Tablet, everything, yeah.
Detective Rockburn asks Kennedy what else he did to punish Trinity. He repeats that he gave the little girl melatonin, but he doesn't elaborate on any physical abuse that happened in the hotel room.
Because even if you gave her a vial of melatonin, she would have woken up. When Rosie grabbed her. So why didn't she not wake up?
I don't know. Because before Rose even came, she was asleep. She was fine. So.
So why were there bloody towels in the trash can?
I already answered that.
Well, it was a lot of blood, more from than just a cutlet.
No, that was all good.
Let me see your hands, Malik. Put them on the table.
Mallik puts both hands palm side down on the table, likely so investigators can look for signs of any struggle that might have ensued.
So what'd you do with your hands today?
You're assuming I beat her? I hit her or something?
I'm not assuming that. I said, what did you do with your hands?
That's assuming, basically.
No.
That's basically you're trying to tell me I was hitting her or something like that. I already peeped the whole entire game, and it's like I'm trying to tell you guys what happened, what I did, what's going on, everything, and y'all.
Oh, you are, but I think you're leaving some parts out.
There's no parts left being out. I promise that. I already know, so I'm just like.
Well, what do you already know?
You're going to jail. That's what he knows. He's guilty. He's going to spend the rest of his life in prison.
The way you guys are coming at me, do I need to just go ahead and just...
I don't know how we're...
Listen. We have a dead baby in room 206, okay? You were the last person with Trinity.
Right.
I understand,
So once again, we went through this with the Stephen Stearns case. This is a little bit more of a slippier slope. Can make a little bit of an argument in court that maybe he asked for an attorney, but this is not a definitive invoking of one's rights to counsel. Okay, it's very similar to what Sturm says. Should I? You guys making these accusations. Should I call somebody? Should I have an attorney? It is not the job of law enforcement to advise you of your legal, advise you of legal counsel. Now, it's law enforcement's job to read you your rights and advise you of your rights and understand that and at least verify that you understand your rights. Absolutely. But once you say, yes, I understand my rights and I'm willing to talk to you, it is not law enforcement's job to determine when you need an attorney. So when somebody asks you, should I have an attorney? Well, you know what? You could be extra proactive and say, okay, well, you know what? Are you asking me for an attorney? Okay, you got an attorney. This conversation is over. Or you can do what this detective did, which is not what the Stephen Stearns detectives did. Let's keep going.
You've been tasked out with this responsibility that you probably don't want nothing to do with. Because how old are you? 24?
24.
Okay, you don't have any kids yourself. So why should you have to be watching this child when it's not even your responsibility, right?
I don't want you to put it like that, though.
Okay, but it's been a lot to you. it's been hard on you. Let's just put it that way, right?
Right.
Okay, you're 24 years old. You're trying to support your girlfriend, and now you got to support a child, and you're working full time. And now when she's working, you have to watch the child, and then you probably have to get ready for work, right? And were you supposed to work today?
Yeah.
And it blew up today.
It's good.
It's a lot.
She was. It is a lot. You're young, man.
He's doing a great job. Great job relating to this guy, speaking words that this guy is feeling, so much that he's forgetting himself. Because remember, just a moment ago, he was saying, maybe I should have an attorney. Should I have an attorney? And now he's like, yeah, he's agreeing with everything the detective is saying. Excellent job. This is what should have happened in Kissimmee, Florida. Let's keep going.
And I understand. You got agitated. You're trying to play your game. She's running around screaming her head off. You're probably worried about that it's bothering the next door neighbors. But listen, man, you need to be honest with me and tell me what happened in that room, okay? Because a bottle of melatonin isn't going to hurt a baby.
Maybe it's because I was just too aggressive.
That's a confession. See that right there? That's a confession. Maybe I was too aggressive. If he gives nothing else, he just confessed to the crime. That's a confession. I mean, he gave other confessions. I hit her face on I hit her on the headboard. I popped her on her cheek, pinched her on her cheek. This is all confessions of abuse. But that statement right there, based off of what the detective asked, listen, I need you to be honest with me. You should tell me what happened. Maybe I was a little too aggressive. That's a confession. Let's keep going.
Just take a deep breath. How are you too aggressive?
Like, I just don't know my own strength. I don't know, like, maybe I hurt her.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere, okay?
But I don't know how.
Okay.
That's the part that's blowing me. I don't know how I hurt her.
It's on top of your tongue, okay? You want to tell me what happened. And you know what? I think you'd feel better if you did tell me what happened.
So right now he's using a little read technique on him. He mixed in a little read technique. I like it. Let's keep going.
You need somebody to talk to right now. You just can't hold this in. It's a lot for you.
Though during the interrogation, Kennedy was hesitant to describe the details of what happened in Hotel Room 206, more information about the physical abuse he inflicted on Trinity comes out at trial. The cause of death was clear. Homicide.
Yes.
It took the jury only one day to come to a decision.
One
On
day
May
too long.
2nd, 2024, the 3-year anniversary of Trinity's death, Kennedy was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility
Wow.
of parole. After Trinity...
Going to spend the rest of his natural life, 24 years old. Convicted at what, 25? Oh, no, say 3 years after the anniversary of her death. So he would be 27. At 27 years old, he found out he was going to spend the rest of his natural life in prison for something he did, a horrendous action he did, taking this baby's life when he was 24 years old. Wow.
Trinity's passing, her family held a candlelight vigil in her honor. They decorated with balloons and wore pink, like the outfits Trinity used to wear and admire in the mirror. Her obituary says Trinity exemplified love, laughter, bravery, and joy in its
Beauty
purest
pie.
form. She's described
Oh.
and remembered as joy personified. She was
Mhm.
laid to rest on May 14th, 2021. There may never be true closure for Trinity's family, but less than a month after what would have been her 5th birthday, there was justice in the form of the conviction of her killer.
Right. Right. That was excellent. I really hope that you guys got a lot out of that. My purpose in covering this was to bring awareness to Trinity, this beautiful little soul, but also because I felt like this is the interview that we should have had in the Stephen Stearns case. This is the interview we should have had in the Stephen Stearns case. So I hope that you guys look at the way that the detectives conducted their interrogation and think back to the interrogation that you saw with Stephen Stearns that final time before he asked for an attorney, and see what you've learned from the differences between the two. All right, guys, like and subscribe, join the channel. Please make sure that you hit that like button. If you don't have anything to say in the comment section, at least tell us where you're calling from, and we will appreciate that. And we'll see you on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.